Well, we've got to start that, and start this, and then we're ready to start. Well, continuing on color and light, some interesting things that I haven't always heard that much. However, to start off, you're just going to hear some of the ones you've heard before, like, why is the sky blue? Not that I'm going to go into it that much detail, just basically that the sky is blue because, well, there's a wavelength, which is a color for blue, and the distance between the molecules of the air apparently lets only the blue, you might say the blue end of the spectrum. And yeah, I kind of thought, why is it particularly blue? Well, that's the edge of our visible spectrum in general, and it's letting through more than just one color, because the spacing of all the molecules of the atmosphere are not always the same. They're pretty close. Oh, but that brings up the mole. We'll have to talk about the mole some other time. But the mole is, I found that Avogadro's number is that it's strange that 1 liter of gas at room temperature, STP, standard temperature and pressure, is 6.2 something or other times 10 to the 23rd power. A big number. But it's a special number in that all gases, the normal standard gases at STP, standard temperature and pressure, are going to contain that specific number of molecules. So it doesn't matter if it's oxygen or nitrogen. It doesn't really matter. They're still going to be the same quantity. So it's, to me, why is it the same quantity? What is it about that? It's a gas. When it's not a gas, then it's a solid, and then it behaves differently. We talk about density, that it has a different density than another material, as far as it's heavier per unit area. Here, we're going to have per unit area. It's true that one will be heavier than the other, but they take up the same, they're spaced out away from each other the same distance. Once they become gas, that distance between them is, well, you might say fixed in the sense, because the quantity is always the same. Well, I shouldn't say that. Just because I'm assuming that they are equally, approximately, they're randomly jiggling around. But anyway, there's a lot of, busy. Anyway, so I was going to talk about that later. So half of my thing is talking about, anyway. Okay, why is the grass green? Okay, I'm getting at that because I recall hearing that is the highest intensity of the colors of our rainbow. If you were to graph the intensities of the different, because we get the light that we get from our sun, it's the color we get. We call it white. It looks sort of yellowish, so because it's mainly hydrogen and so on that's burning. So whatever materials are in there is what its fingerprint spectroscopy is going to be. So anyway, we get this light, and the intensity of as it comes through our atmosphere, and I think that our Van Allen belts, anyway, this is also getting at, why do we see that narrow band? Why is it that we see that band? Why not lower? Why not higher? Well, when we think about see, it's the eyes, the organism, a sensory device. And all the creatures, although some can do infrared a little better than others, sound, dogs can do better than we can. So it's the, many organs have the same, not the same sensory organs, but they're sensing the same phenomena of our environment. So they certainly are changing our environment by, of course, we're the ones that are probably changing them to change what's going on because we think about them. Boy, don't you love the scattered one? Anyway, Well, that's my idea about the spectrum. What we see is because of evolution of natural selection. Without our ozone, you're going to get skin cancer because of the ultraviolets and so. So apparently, I imagine it's blocking all those, or at that point that they're not as strong, and so they don't need to be blocked or something like that. Further research needs to be done here, I guess. And then lower than that, infrared and so on, it's just not a significant, but they are, the sun does emit a wide range of those. The solar wind is made up, not just a little narrow, what we see. So, but because of the blocking of our Earth atmosphere and Van Allen belts, we have restricted. Now green, though, why is the grass green? Because it seemed like they found that has the most energy of the colors. So grass was pretty smart and said, well, we're going to get the best energy by being green, and so green things absorb the green light. No, that's actually the way around, isn't it? Oh boy. Why are they... Ooh. That certainly is backwards, isn't it? Well, then it all really depends on... Oh boy, this is wonderful. But I wanted to say also, have you ever had an idea? Well, anyway, Heroes and the 4400 are Sci-Fi Channel TV programs I like. And in light of all this Illuminati, Zeitgeist and the CFR and the government and Brave New World, I'm wondering if Heroes isn't kind of like talking about that. Because when I first started watching it, I didn't know what the heck is this all about. It's talking about the evolution of the human species, and then the elite few that's making a decision because there's too many people in the world. We got to cull the population. And then I thought about that word, culling. Stargate Atlantis has got, their scene is that there's the wraith that culls this Pegasus galaxy. At least it culled the people every so many thousand years. It's a recurring theme that seems to be popping up for some strange reason. Anyway, I also wanted to say, and then 4400, here these people, he comes from the future, and there's something catastrophe goes on. But in the Heroes, we have not 9/11, but New York almost goes up with a bomb. And then the current ending of the series is some virus, but anyway. So I also wanted to say, guess what? It's my birthday. Hi. So, boy, this was really scattered, but I wanted to put one up for my birthday anyway. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.